HCB family, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. Hope you guys are well. Thanks again for tuning in. No introduction, we're just going to get straight into it. So the Roosters losing to the Rabbitohs, 14 points to 30, in what can only be described really as a car crash. Obviously, if you're a Roosters fan, you're down, you're out. If you're a Rabbitohs fan, you're happy. You've got another win over, I suppose, your arch nemesis. Now, this truly is, in my opinion, the greatest rivalry in NRL sport. Or an NRL anyway, should I say. Very physical encounter. 7 cards, right? I mean, I suppose that's probably the talking point where you sort of start from. Victor Radley, Jared White-Hargreaves, Tane Milne, just cards left, right, and center. Much like Oprah Winfrey when she gives things away. Everybody and their cat and their dog got a card. Look, this game here, as I said before, it was a tough game. Although in saying that, though, I suppose when Tedesco and Crichton were out, that's when I sort of drew the red line over the Roosters, and it's sad though, because obviously the Roosters, due to that, I think that was probably the biggest impact for them. That's the reason why, in my opinion, they lost the game. Just because there just was not enough people on the bench. When your strongest weapons are out of the field, out of the game, it's virtually it. So. Rabbitohs making good use of it. Now, if it was to be turned the other way around and say the Rabbitohs had the likes of Latrell Mitchell out, say Cameron Murray, I would probably argue and say that Roosters probably win that game, but it is what it is. Now tries to Crichton, Johnston, Tupou, Butcher, Mitchell, Johnston again, Arrow as well as Tass. Latrell Mitchell converting all 5 of his goals as well. There's not too much to really talk about in this game in regards to what we saw on the field, because like I said, it was a bit of a car crash. Some people could argue and say it was slow. However, the talking points in the bin. So there was one point in the game where Tedesco obviously got the head high there from Tom Burgess, and then later on, right? Who was it? Was it Tom Burgess, I think, who got the head high from Jared White-Hargreaves? He goes off, and they can use the sub, but James Tedesco, purely because of the fact that there were some quote-unquote mitigating factors, Roosters could not utilize their sub. And I suppose that is a very good talking point heading into this week. However, in saying that, yeah, it really does not make a difference in the results there. Latrell Mitchell, in my opinion as well, proving to be a very big factor in the game. We all know what's happened before the game as well, right? A lot of the boo sort of topics, should I say. And Latrell Mitchell, I thought handled himself really well in a game where you expect Latrell Mitchell to be the first to go in and I suppose, carry on. He was one of the more cool-headed players there. Again, surprising, but that's what it takes for the Rabbitohs. Really, is they need a cool-headed Latrell Mitchell to carry him, and that's exactly what happened. Now, as to what happens next week for the Rabbitohs regarding their matchup against the Sharks and who's is fined and all that jazz, I don't know. It is what it is there. But it was like I said, it was a tough game. I mean, once the players were off the ball, Tedesco as well as Crichton, that was it. The second half was a bit of a grueling sort of a battle, but again, Rabbitohs just managing to get over, and obviously again they just did enough. They just did enough. They did what they had to do. Kudos to the Roosters though for being able to stand and fight at least with one leg, attempting to do so anyway. And I don't think they just had the pieces really, and I suppose that's just it. That's the real summation of it all. It was a definite brawl. I suppose saying this as a neutral, as a Warriors fan watching this game, I really would do almost anything for the Warriors to have a season like the Rabbitohs or the Roosters, either their season this year or even last year. It just as I looked at this game and I saw the intensity, particularly early on, I just thought, Warriors could not we wouldn't be able to match this, not at all. And I suppose it's just a bit of an admiration, and obviously I understand that the two teams, the Rabbitohs fans and the Roosters fans, they all hate each other and blah blah blah. I get it, but as a neutral fan, particularly being a Warriors fan, I couldn't help but just stand back in admiration for both these really strong clubs and their identity. Who just the Rabbitohs were basically hanging in the 8, right? They were just hanging on, and for some reason, just game after game, there was just fight after fight as the rounds got later and later. You know what I mean? And the Roosters, again, injuries and stuff, but still proving to be there. Unfortunately for them, ironically at the end, injuries again, having their way at the end. But overall, a good game. A lot of a lot of talking points nonetheless. Yeah, were the Cars deserved? I don't know. To be fair with you, were they needed? I don't know. Right, but obviously we understand the ruling here with the NRL. If you touch the head, then that's it, right? Yeah, that was it. It was a lot of brawls. It was a bit hot at moments there, but yeah, at the end of the day, Rabbitohs won, the one that mattered the most. And I did tip the Roosters, but obviously I said at the end there, disclaimer, do not be surprised if the Rabbitohs win, right? And obviously seeing their backs as well had a lot of say in that game, and that's why I thought they'd win the game, the Rabbitohs. Now, in saying that, for the Roosters, it's pack your bag times. It's about evaluating. It's about reflecting, and obviously looking forward to the likes of Brandon Smith coming into your stomping ground. And as for the Rabbitohs, it's about suiting up and trying to see who'll be able to actually play next week against the Sharks there. And obviously, again, the Sharks are absolutely ruining and I suppose in a pit of despair, losing to the Cowboys in such a fashion, particularly when they had the game in control. However, rugby league is a funny, beautiful, and a sad and loving game. But ultimately, that's it. That's me for now. We look forward to next week's events and the teams that play. But yeah, that's all I've got to say there. Tell me your thoughts on the game. Who was your man of the match? Like I said, I just think the Rabbitohs they took advantage of that. They were the better team. Not much you can say after that. Congrats, Rabbitohs fans. Roosters fans, hey, be proud of your season. Take it from a Warriors fan. I'll do anything to experience your season from last year, this year. Oh yeah, even 2002. Anyway, take it easy. See you guys next time. And yeah, both teams, congrats. But Rabbitohs, you get it. You guys know how to hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time.